it up somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family. It's past the time and we should have already moved on. And for that, I do apologize because we are having some little difficulties here, but I'll get that sorted out, I'm sure. Yes, I'll find my way around that. Yes, my Straight Dog family, it is time for me to say a very pleasant night to you, my Straight Dog family, wherever you are in the world, because we are on the World Wide Web. So we reach and touch you and greet you all across the globe. And of course, we come to you from beautiful St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean region. And we reach and touch all of you all over the Caribbean region as well. So I am at liberty to say good night, Caribbean. And those of you in the Kittitian division and Caribbean diaspora, I can say good night, I can say good morning, and I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And if you are a first timer, we welcome you and trust and hope that this won't be your last time. And I thank all those who continue to share the link. As when you do, we get first timers. And for the first timers, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. And on this program, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting everyone to their rights, to their obligations, and certainly to their responsibilities that must be also included. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with the opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I'll continue to pledge to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded by the words of a favorite hymn of mine. And an excerpt goes like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. Let's seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. And my Straight Talk family, I am bound to remind you, and for those first timers to inform you, that on Straight Talk, absolutely nothing is watered down on this program. To make it more interesting, and neither by omission or exaggeration, we don't try to create sensationalism or excitement, as we will have to do that at the expense of accuracy. So we lean on the facts, and it will remain my bounden duty to present the unvarnished truth. I call it the plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in St. Kitts and Nevis and all over the world. Because this program joins us together with people across the Federation. We are joined with people across the diaspora all around the world. Some we know very well, some we have met, some we may never know, and we will never meet. Yes, some will disagree with the points that we advance, the positions of truth, I should say, that we advance. And some will disagree. And that's okay, because we entertain what I call a diversity of views. But please, it would sadden me, my Straight Talk family, if we ever start to become disagreeable. So let's thank Almighty God in the meantime for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. And I must remind you that Straight Talk is a participative program. By that I mean we entertain your calls and we do entertain your emails. And if you are so minded calling, the numbers are on your monitors. The numbers, my Straight Talk family, are there for you to access, the local number and the overseas number. And there's some of you who like what I call the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access to our email platform, and that address is also on your monitors, my Straight Talk family. So my Straight Talk family, we have not, have we? If we have not set up, sort out the Alexa app, we do apologize, but we'll have that sorted out for you, my Straight Talk family, once and for all. I promise you, I really promise you, next time around, we'll have that sorted out, my Straight Talk family. And there are some of you who continue to donate and have made donations to support our efforts here on Straight Talk, and I am bound to say a big, big thank you, my Straight Talk family. And there are those who wish to donate. We welcome you and wish to reassure you that no matter how small your contribution is, it helps to continue our discussions, our very important discussions. It also helps to defray our costs and maintain our commitment to what is really public service, my Straight Talk family. So those who wish to donate can simply scan the code on your screens to access the payment form. Very simple process once you get there. But thank you again for your support and for helping us, my Straight Talk family, to keep the dialogue alive. I always want to welcome the Young Brigade. I must welcome the Young Brigade. And I saw Saraya. Of course, Neema is always with me. Saw Saraya in church yesterday, Saraya. And did I see young Shama? Yes, I did. Kevin Hanley over there in Nevis, Tristan. Trust that things are well. Young Dwayne, young Ru Costa in South Carolina, Jamal in Anguilla, Travis and Travon. I believe I saw them recently. But all of you, my Young Brigade, I want to welcome you and thank you, my Straight Talk family, my Young Brigade, and of course, how could I forget the special lady in St. Louis. So my Straight Talk family, also the Queen in Texas, who are normally logged on to Straight Talk. We usually begin with our observations in review, and I'll move right to my observations in review, after which we entertain your calls. As I said, this is a program on which you have your say, my Straight Dog family. And our observations in review, we highlight the current issues and do some reflection. We may then ask a few questions. But my Straight Dog family, after our observations, we will begin our thesis. And for tonight, our thesis is titled, "What Gone by the Morning Can't Come Good at Night." Trust me. But please, therefore, don't change your platform. Just spread the word that Straight Talk is live on social media, YouTube, and Facebook. And for our first observation, it's in the form of public service. We do our public service here, as I said, and we just want, as a public service gesture, to inform you of that PLP Constituency 7 meeting that will be convened tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. at the party headquarters over there in Tabernacle. And as the flyer says, all are welcome. So that PLP number 7, Constituency 7 meeting will be convened tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. over there in Tabernacle, my Straight Dog family. And for our second observation, after much public pressure and embarrassment, the Ministry of Health paid tribute to one of their fallen doctors, Simonette Williams, who was mysteriously killed. There's a Facebook post put out by the permanent secretary in that Ministry of Health, Curtis Wimpy Martin. I didn't seem to have loaded it, but tributes were paid to the young doctor who, as I said, was mysteriously killed. To date, however, there has been no official report coming from the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton. We won't stop Commissioner Sutton until we hear something and until we provide some finality to this sad, sad story of that young doctor. For our third observation, some time ago as well, Straight Talk highlighted the poor service that is administered by the management of the Urban Development Corporation down there at Port Zante. And recall, we highlighted the incompetence of its acting CEO. We understand she has been confirmed in the position as CEO. Carissa Nero is her name. And Straight Talk can also report that a deputy CEO was appointed, one Mr. KB. But I'm raising this cooperation and matters related to it because it seems as though that every single business operated on Port Zante are frustrated daily by the incompetent performance and non-facilitation towards the very people who they depend on to generate revenue for the corporation. It's from the businesses and the marina, but boats continue to depart, to leave the marina that is crying out for maintenance. And worse yet, the term of the board of directors expired in 2024. And Minister Marsha Henderson has not seen it fit to appoint a new board. And we wonder why. Former Chairman Lake and Teshari, we understand, signed the checks. And we are questioning their legality as members of the board. But a selected bunch of the staff was seen at the Prime Minister's Gala early this year. As UDC, we understand, bought a table to promote the function or to support the function. But we are told they overlooked in the process payment of their electricity bill, and the office was subsequently disconnected. Former CEO Julie Charles, remember, was unceremoniously pushed out. But things, from all accounts, at the corporation are being run like a bar shop. This very important institution is being run like a bar shop, and the business owners are complaining. But we will keep you posted, my Straight Talk family. But those are my observations in review for tonight, and I move right into my thesis, which I said I have titled, "We're Gone by the Morning, Can't Come Good at Night." And my Straight Talk family, every single morning when I wake up, I thank God for the present morning light and for taking me safely through the night. I thank God for the rest, for food and His loving care, and all that makes the world so fair. But is this world that we live in fair, my Straight Talk family? Because when we look around us, we see things like inequality, suffering, and injustice. Many people are born into circumstances that seem much more difficult than others. And it can feel, no doubt, like life is stacked up against them. At the same time, there are also moments of incredible kindness, resilience, and beauty that suggests fairness can exist in smaller but more personal ways. But I asked myself just this morning, why can't we as a people, and our leaders in particular, just do things right? And that would change the trajectory of our country. It is frustrating to see people get away with doing wrong, while others who try to do the right thing face struggles or setbacks. It makes one feel like there is no real balance or justice, especially when the consequences don't seem to match the actions. If everyone tried to do the right thing, it would definitely make a huge difference here in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is a concept of collective responsibility that I'm promoting, where if more people acted with integrity, the world, but more specifically St. Kitts and Nevis, would be a much better place, I should say, in which to live and to work and to have fun. But hell no. Here in my beloved country of St. Kitts Nevis, people get rewarded for their wrongdoings, especially if they are supporters of the political party in office. And this is what makes it harder to stay hopeful. And my Straight Talk family, this recent statement by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Adlai Smith, brought back some memories. And I for a moment, should I say, deliberately avoided discussing this matter, because my straight dog family, it's not easy when you see some people or some of us have to endure difficult times. But my straight dog family, as I broach this matter tonight, having spoken to my good friend Weatherman. Yes, I spoke to Weatherman sometime. And we had a good chat, very good chat, as friends and parents. And I saw a release tonight, or this afternoon rather, which really touched me. But I know that my brother Weatherman is a good soldier. And I've heard some other things as well, my straight dog family, about some parents. But they were victims as well who have parents. And I am just heartbroken and sorry for everyone, victims and what I will cautiously say, perpetrators. And I saw this release coming from the Ministry of National Security, my straight dog family. A statement re Commissioner of Corrections placed on administrative leave. And many people are gloating over this incident, or the flurry of incidents that have occurred over the past week or more, my straight dog family. And as I said, a recent statement by the Director of Public Prosecutions caught my attention, my straight dog family, and I am bothered.
The DPPO further reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the rule of law and the pursuit of justice, irrespective of the parties involved. The DPPO further reaffirms its unwavering commitment to the rule of law and the pursuit of justice, irrespective of the parties involved.
I played that twice, my straight dog family, because I know the Director of Public Prosecutions. I met him, have not seen him for a long time. But in his statement, and I must also say that I know that he backs, but he don't really bite. And this recent statement, however, about the rule of law and his commitment to the rule of law and the pursuit of justice, Smith said, irrespective of the parties involved. And I asked myself the question, well, what went wrong with this particular case in Nevis? What went wrong, I asked myself, with this particular case in Nevis? When the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions filed this notice of discontinuance in that case over there in Nevis, when a young man was caught red-handed with automatic or an automatic weapon. And I asked myself the question, my straight dog family, was this a case of collusion with the Commissioner of Police, James Sutton, and the DPP's office? Yes, I asked myself the question. Was this a case of collusion with the Commissioner of Police and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions? Because having listened to the Director of Public Prosecutions, Aldi Smith, I asked myself, how could this happen? A man was caught red-handed with a high-powered gun and summarily released by the office of the DPP. Yet the DPP comes to us and speaks to us about corruption and amnesty. What was this, my Straight Dog family? What was this?
Corruption. Trying to use influence as a prosecutor to get the firearm used in the murder surrendered under an amnesty program.
I asked myself the question, was this case in Nevis corruption? Were any firearms surrendered under the amnesty program? Because in the case in Nevis, we are told that firearms were surrendered under an amnesty battered, it is reliably rumored, by a snake-like politician. Nevis have few snake-like politicians, but you understand, firearms were surrendered under an amnesty. But whatever it is, my Straight Dog family, the public may never find the truth. But like the adage goes, what gone by the morning can't come good at night. And it serves as a poignant metaphor that highlights the challenges constantly faced by the July administration since assuming office in August 2022. When we reflect on the July administration, nigh 3 years in office, the early signs of governance were fraught with inefficiency, dishonesty, and a lack of transparency. It reflected an even deeper cultural understanding that the flaws and mistakes observed early in this new administration are predictive of its long-term outcomes. In the context of a newly installed government, this saying, what gone by the morning can't come good at night, resonates deeply as it highlights the potential difficulty in reversing a trajectory of poor performance, lack of integrity, and missed opportunities for genuine reform. Governance, especially in the early stages, was expected to lay the foundation for lasting change and development. When the initial steps of an administration, however, are marked by disappointment, betrayal of trust, or failure to meet the promises made during its campaign, it becomes increasingly difficult for the public, particularly supporters of the regime, to maintain hope. And many have lost hope in this July government. The trajectory of governance, much like the course of a day, is shaped by its early moments. And if these moments are riddled with failures and in accountability and transparency, the future will surely be grim. The poor governance in the early stages of the July administration has negatively impacted public trust that has led to irreparable damage in governance, thereby making it impossible for the night to bring redemption to a morning marred by poor, dishonest, and corrupt leadership. Very early, the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin spoke, for example, my Straight Dog family, to the procurement process. And Garth Lucifer Wilkin said this about the procurement process, my Straight Dog family. He was straightforward and to the point. And he said this.
Our Procurement Act requires that there be a competitive bidding process to ensure the government gets value for money, and it makes it a crime to spend money from the Treasury without the procurement process being completed.
And that's straightforward. A crime, he said, to spend money from the Treasury without the procurement process. But when the Prime Minister twice committed crimes, according to the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin turned a blind eye to one. The $8 million spent on the R.L. Bradshaw Museum without the required museum. He went to visit the museum, my Straight Dog family, which is incomplete after almost 3 years. And $8 million or more spent, unaccounted for. Yet the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, turned a blind eye. 2, another crime committed, if I use the standard of Garth Lucifer Wilkin, the $5.8 million paid on the water tank project, as they call in the water buckets, my Straight Dog family, is highly rape of the government treasury. That's how best we can describe it, my Straight Dog family. Highly rape of the government treasury, my Straight Dog family.
We have sent the fire truck, we have sent the water truck. We continue to send the fire truck, we continue to send the water truck. We have signed a contract to purchase water storage tanks. So at least when the water truck goes, they have a larger receptacle to store the water. I would also like to thank Mr. Ashley Allers, because he's the one who brought the idea of how we can help with the storage receptacles that we're going to launch.
How? But Garth Lucifer Wilkin turned a blind eye to that, my Straight Dog family. But who, we ask, is Garth Lucifer Wilkin? What is his role? Is he as powerful as we think? Yes, my Straight Dog family. The Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin is the Chief Legal Advisor of the July administration. Can you imagine that, my Straight Dog family? Can you?
The Attorney General, by definition, is the legal advisor to the government.
Okay.
Most things that government does has to be vetted for legality first. So that is why that concept of engine of the government is so accurate, because almost anything that needs to be done in government has to come to the Attorney General's office for sign off, basically. You know, contracts, any opinions, any claims, any constitutional matters, all of that comes to the office of the Attorney General. In addition to sitting in cabinet, and then cabinet decisions, if there are any legal issues that arise, I have to advise cabinet on those issues. Let's separate it. There's the office of the Attorney General, the Attorney General's office, and then there's the Ministry of Justice and Legal Affairs. So I basically wear two hats. But I think when people hear Attorney General, they think of both. So I think it's only fair that people know about both.
Two hats. But a chief legal advisor, my Straight Dog family, is supposed to be someone who sets an example of integrity and upholds the law, guiding others to act in accordance with the law. But when the chief legal advisor breaks the law himself, it must be a serious conflict of interest. and it must undermine trust in the system as a whole. But my Straight Talk family, there's a very strange arrangement within the office of the Attorney General, which seems sometimes like a bit of contradiction at first glance, my Straight Talk family. It does seem like a bit of contradiction, as I said, at its first glance, my Straight Talk family.
Within the ministry, there is the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. The Director of Public Prosecution has constitutional power to determine whether to proceed with criminal matters or to withdraw criminal matters, etc. That has an office, lawyers, staff, etc. So we are responsible for the administration of that office.
So, my Straight Talk family, the Attorney General administers, like I said, the DPP's office. But it really has to do with the separation of powers and the specific constitutional provisions that ensure independence for the Director of Public Prosecution, the DPP. While the office, I should say, my Straight Talk family, while the office of the DPP may be administered, and even from within the Attorney General's office, or may report to the Attorney General in certain administrative capacities. The key point, though, is that the DPP's independence is safeguarded by law and by the Constitution. In our jurisdiction, the Constitution guarantees explicitly that the DPP's decisions about prosecutions must be free from external influence, even if the office is part of the broader government structure. In St. Kitts Nevis, for example, the Constitution at Article 65 specifically outlines the functions and powers of the DPP, making it clear, my Straight Talk family, that the DPP is independent in performing his duty. And that's very clear according to the Constitution, my Straight Talk family. Pellucid, as my friend would say. And you can glean from your monitor that the Constitution guarantees that independence, which means that the DPP has the discretion to direct, institute, or discontinue criminal proceedings without interference from other branches of government, including the executive, legislature, or even the Attorney General. And it's clear as per Section 65 of our Constitution, Article 65. There shall be a Director of Public Prosecutions whose office shall be a public office. The Director of Public Prosecutions shall have power in any case in which he or she considers it desirable so to do, to institute and undertake criminal proceedings against any person before any court of law other than in a court-martial in respect of any offense under a law alleged to have been committed by the person. The powers conferred as subsection 4, right to the bottom, the powers conferred on the Director of Public Prosecutions by paragraph B and C above of subsection 2 shall be vested in him or her to the exclusion of any other person or authority, my straight dog family. So there's protection in the constitution of the DPP's office and independence. But how is it possible? How is this possible, one may ask, when the Attorney General is responsible for the administration of the office of the DPP? Separation of functions. The Attorney General or Attorney General's office is responsible for legal advice to the government and represents the government in legal matters. He said that. While the DPP's role is purely prosecutorial, by straight talk family. I'm stopping here. Prosecutorial, I should say. And although both are part of the government structure, the DPP is meant to act independently without being influenced by the executive or political considerations. He must prosecute. It is prosecutorial, as I said. And my straight dog family, isn't it confusing though that the Attorney General before threatened, remember, he threatened to take away our phones. You remember that, my straight dog family? He made that threat. So how could he?
There are laws in this country that make it a criminal offense to either make or forward statements, letters, any sort of art, communications by electronic device that either harasses, threatens, intimidates, molests other people. It is called unlawful communications. And Madam Speaker, I want the people of this country to know that if the culture of forwarding and sending around things that could cause harm to other people is not stopped voluntarily by the goodwill and decency within your heart, the police are going to have to stop it. And the police have the authority and they have the law to take your phone, and don't matter what you delete, it can be found. And the police will charge you and bring you to justice. So
we ask a question. Can Garth Lucifer Wilkin instruct the police? Can Garth Lucifer Wilkin instruct the independent office of the DPP? The chief prosecutor? Because he also said this as well, my straight dog family.
I know they have Kititians and divisions living in the states who believe because the states allow you to say anything they want, they could say anything they want. Stay up there. Come out of our internet. Right? If you do that, we can send an MLAT to the US. We could find you. We could prosecute you. And we could get you extradited to St. Kitts to face charges.
But how can the Attorney General prosecute you? Is he overstepping his authority? Does he instruct the DPP Adlai Smith? Adlai Smith is the only one who can determine prosecutions, not the AG. But he says he can prosecute you. But we know the Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin is, like we said, Lucifer.
They call me Lucifer. But I ain't afraid of nobody, you know. I ain't afraid of nobody. But they want to demonize people for the sake of politics. Nasty people. And this house, which is a house where people are elected to serve, and those people choose other people to serve with them, is the place to tell our people when certain things are not acceptable in a society.
But my straight dog family, the questions that arise. One, is the DPP bowing to political or executive pressure? As he now, like Lucifer, wants to stifle our fundamental constitutional right to freedom of expression. Yes, He wants to take away our freedom of expression. Is he bowing to pressure from Lucifer? That's a fair question, may I ask my Straight Talk family. Because when you listen to the DPP, my Straight Talk family, that's what question arises.
The Director of Public Prosecution's Office also urges the general public to act with maturity and refrain, I repeat, refrain from speculating about this case based on rumors or publishing inaccurate information that could prejudice the fair trial of these charges. Inappropriate comments or speculation on social media or other public platforms could interfere with the ongoing investigation, undermine the fairness of the judicial process, and it could result in legal consequences.
But my Straight Talk family, in legal institutions, we find at DPP's office integrity and accountability are foundational to maintaining public trust and the rule of law. The saying, what goes wrong in the morning can't come good in the night. Because when legal professionals fail to act ethically or overlook transgressions, they undermine not only their office's credibility, but also the justice system as a whole. The DPP spoke about a fugitive, but didn't this individual act upon the sound advice of my friend and bandmate, now turned advisor? Did he act on this advice?
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
So did he act on advice? The fugitive that's being referred to. But people in high office must serve as a beacon of fairness, transparency, and professionalism. When wrongdoing is ignored, it not only emboldens further misconduct, but also discredits the capacity of our institutions to act impartially. It is essential, therefore, that legal professionals uphold the highest standards at all times, ensuring that their actions, decisions, and oversight reflect their commitment to justice, integrity, and accountability, regardless of the challenges that they face. And this approach, my Straight Talk family, can only ensure that what begins right in the morning will indeed lead to positive and lasting outcomes by night. But sadly, that is not the case under this corrupt July administration. And what gone by the morning can't come good at night. And that's my story, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. But I'll open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. And my Straight Talk family, in the process, let's ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 1 minute before the 9 o'clock hour And we go straight to the lines and say good night to this our first call.
Good night.
Yes, yes, my dear brother, the Bible man.
Yes.
Good night.
Now, Patrick.
You've got your
You see
position
who is
back.
number one now?
Yes, you are number one, yes.
3 days in a row.
Okay.
And I am going to, listen at it. This is a man of God. You're here going to talk. Now, the Bible man said tonight, here, I am dealing with Bible tonight, Mr. Patil. Isaiah 57, verse 20. Listen, Patil. But the wicked are like a troubled sea. Patil, you know when the sea get stored and start to go on bad, after the wicked man go on. And if you go down the sea, he pull you in. So a wicked man go on. And here we say here, the wicked are like a troubled sea. When they really good, when it cannot rest, those water cast up into mire, dirt. Number 21, there is no peace, said the Lord. There is no peace, said my God, to the wicked. That is, I'm going to finish now. Anybody, listen to me tonight. Hear the Bible man tonight. Anybody you say, who is a wicked man and say they want to sleep good, tell them the lie. Don't tell them the lie. Because they not got no peace. The Bible said there is no peace to the wicked. And it said the wicked are like a troubled sea. I know when the sea start to roar and if you go close it, they pull you in. So you got to give your life to God to come out of that.
Okay.
I am saying tonight, the Bible says, except you repent, you shall always perish. You got to repent and turn unto the loving God.
Okay.
And He will give you mercy. But it will stop in your wicked ways. Will not get no peace. So, I am going to say, let people understand that when you've been saved, you've been born again, there is peace.
Okay, my brother.
Your sleep gonna be sweet.
Okay.
When you lie down,
Thank
you have
you.
a good rest.
Thank you,
So,
mate.
I want to say that who believe themselves, they could stop in the wicked way and believe that not goes so.
Okay.
Nothing goes so. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night, my brother, the Bible man. We always welcome your spiritual intervention, and you always make certain you open the baton, as we say in cricket terms. But we go back to the lines and say good night to this caller at 4 past the 9 o'clock hour. Caller, you live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Don't know what it's the issue. But let's see if we yes. We go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear. And how art thou tonight?
I am great.
Good to hear you as usual.
The quotation for this evening. A collection of motivational cartoons features characters who are always full of big ideas and grand plans but fail to take any action. I repeat, a collection of motivational cartoons features characters who are always full of big ideas and grand plans but fail to take any action.
Just give me that one more time.
Or collection of motivational cartoons features
characters
who are always full of big ideas and grand plans but fail to take any action.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. But fail to take. Yes, we always get those quotations, very thought-provoking ones, very great ones as well. And we will as well intermingle with our, if that's the right term, with our emailers as well. So I don't get bogged down with the emailers, because the emailers are just as important. And this email reads, Patches, in your last episode of Straight Talk, I realize you omitted the DPP, Mr. Smith, as one of the persons who are guilty of speaking loosely and what comes to his mouth. His recent statement with reference to the corruption charges against the young Crown Counsel is a clear example that the DPP does not understand his role and how the hell he could prefer charges before any mention is made of an arrest by the police, my Straight Talk family. Mr. DPP, we are not daunted by your foolish intimidation or intimidatory threats, beg your pardon, and waffle talk. We are not Antigans. We are proud, educated Kititians and Nevisians. You need to put things in proper perspective. First, police arrests, and the DPP filed charges on the indictment. Please do not put the cart before the horse. We go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Straight Talk.
Mr.
Straight Talk.
Abracadabra. I thought I recognized
Abracadabra. How are you, my brother?
I am peaceful, my brother. I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yes, you are peaceful. You are peaceful. What can I say? So far, so good. All is well. I'm taking my time to do whatever I have to do and just thank God for every bit of life that He given this body of mine.
Important to do that.
That's what's going on. But I thank God for you because you're really doing a wonderful job, and many people say the same thing. That you got to continue to do what you're doing because you're bringing information, and that's good. Understand? That's good information. Anyway, let me just say good evening to my wonderful people. Hey, good evening, my lovely brother down there in Laja. Alvin and George Reed and my brother Ellis and my brother Adam, Johnny Abbey, and my wonderful niece there in Texas, in St. Louis, and our wonderful Texas Queen. Good night, everybody. Good night. Mr. Strater, I listened to you last week there and thing, and the guy from St. Thomas said that he drives through Shadwell and he see all these buckets underground. Did you hear him?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Yes. That was my
I
bad.
said the guy from St. Thomas was on your program there on Thursday night.
Yes.
And he said he had the opportunity to drive to Shadwell.
Okay.
And all these water buckets is still underground. So are he right?
He's perfectly correct. Yes, he's right.
But I thought that the Dr. Julie pepper seed, Tabasco pepper seed said that they're going to do all this thing and they're going to take care of it. And the Cassidy Alice said that they're going to build home mount for all these things. You want to come tell me after? So how long did they do this thing?
Wow, it's over here now, I think. If I
No,
yes,
you want to come tell me it's over here that they get these things and they're still underground? Something is not right, Mr. Straight Talk. Somebody now do the fair share. And you talk about the wall, if the wall is fair. Yes, the wall is fair. We have more good and what bad. But you see, because nobody reports under good, we only report under bad. You hear about man a push man in subway tracks in New York again, I think it happened last week. You never hear about man a pull man from subway. But I was walking going down the subway track and the yellow line with my roller, and I didn't see the train behind me. I didn't see it. The train was coming. I guess he driver see me and he slowed down the train. But because two girls was playing steel band, I want to know who playing this kind of steel band music. And this African guy see me and he see the train behind me. And that guy pulled me away. And I said, guy, what happened? He said, I know you didn't see the train coming behind you. I said, I looked back to see if the train was coming, but the train wasn't coming. But it was so short a time that train come down in the track. Straight up, I don't know if that train would have hit me or what. But God intervened with that guy. Even though I'm under yellow line, I don't know if something could have happened with that thing. But he pulled me away. So we have more good and more bad. But it's just that we are reporting on the bad, not the good. Not the good.
Yep.
So that's where we say life is not fair and the wall is not fair. But we have is a fair wall. Understand? And life is fair. Everything. Have to remember one thing, Mr. Sweetheart, is God rule. And whatever is going to happen to you is going to happen. Man cannot stop it. Before this thing was started, God knows. So he knows your destiny. You don't know. Until you know your destiny, is one destiny you know that you're going to die. Nothing else. That's all the destiny you know. That one day, this life is going to over. Mr. Sweetheart, I tarry long enough. I'm going to see you soon. See you when I see you. Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, my dear brother. Well, I'm always hear that the wages of sin is death. The gift of God is eternal life. Do you believe that?
Thank you.
Caller, you're live.
Thank you.
Yes, my Lord. Yes, my Lord. You are live.
How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Yes. Listen to me. I want you to listen to me. Yeah?
Uh-huh. Yes.
Do you know the characteristic of a leader or leadership? Why are you saying that now? Just to make it, because this thing that I cannot understand. Why you say, well, gone by the morning, gone evening? Is that you're saying?
Yes.
I've been hearing that all the time and I can't get it in my head. How something gone by the morning can happen? But what's happened to the leadership? What I know about a leader, any leader, I'm not telling about no specific leader. What I learned about a leader is the characteristic is that a leader is supposed to be loyal, he's supposed to be enthusiastic, he's supposed to be alert, he's supposed to be dedicated and a piece of dominance. He has to be energetic and he has to be resourceful thing. That is what I learned, and he seems that this thing is driving me mad. Let us come. I mean, I don't like to hear this word that we're going by the mind. What is nonsense? I mean, it's sick. It's sick. No movement. I mean, I hear, and this ain't just now. I'm thinking about it. It comes like from the time I was small. I've been hearing that, and it looks like it's a continuity. What going by the mind can't go to the night. As you made a reference with somebody, he's saying that they could stay in thinking and send a message to take in America. How you get out of here?
Well, if you don't do things right, my brother,
yeah,
right? If you don't do things right in the beginning, you could happen. You would always have the results that are not good results.
Yeah.
And the point is that in the concept that we have, and when we reflect on the current administration for over the 3 years, we saw the early signs of governance, which was fraught with inefficiency, dishonesty, and lack of transparency. And that is what you know, that's it brings out the understanding, the deeper cultural understanding that the flaws and mistakes observed early in the administration is predictive, as I said, of its long-term outcomes. If it starts bad, it can't end good, right? Because in the context of this newly installed government, this is what they're saying. It resonates deeply as it highlights the potential difficulty in reversing the trajectory of this poor performance, lack of integrity, and missed opportunities for genuine reform. How can you get genuine reform when there's no transparency, there's a lack of integrity, and the list goes on? That's the point you're making. Yes, you're talking about good leadership and the characteristics of good leadership, right? But it is what motivates others, good leadership, not bad leadership. But I said a lot. I'm sorry. I took some time.
I'm listening to yourself. But in the leadership, even though that is, they got something they call in that characteristic flexibility. Flexibility. What do you mean of flexibility? What do you mean of being flexible? I don't understand.
But you have to lay the foundation for lasting change and development. You have to lay the foundation. If you talk about governance in the early stages, you must lay the foundation, and you know that, Major, right?
Okay.
But when you're marked with disappointment, betrayal of trust, and a failure to meet your promises during the campaign, it becomes increasingly difficult for the public to trust you and maintain hope. People will lose hope. That's the point.
Well, dedication. What about dedication?
Well,
dedication.
Well, okay.
What about dedication? What do you think about dedication?
Well, if you have a dedication, it's your leadership. It's your. You see what's happening. You see what's happening in the country. They took away the social assistance from people, gave them less, and then discriminate against other people.
Okay.
You understand what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Jola. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much, Major. Fallout. Thank you. And yes, I was saying, the Major, the poor governance of this administration in its early stages has negatively impacted public trust, and it has led to irreparable damage in governance, thereby making it impossible for the night to bring redemption to a morning marred by poor, dishonest, and corrupt leadership. Caller, thank you for holding your line. Hello, caller.
Yes, Patty. A pleasant good evening to you.
Good evening, my dear. How about you?
How are you? I'm fine. How are you?
I am peaceful, especially when I see those dimples. Look at those dimples.
I want to wish you a happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And to my son, he celebrated his birthday yesterday. His name is Gavin Henry down there in Antigua. Okay. He's celebrating. Yes. And to my mom, she's celebrating tomorrow.
Okay.
Margaret Henry from Carn.
Okay.
And to my neighbor, Taj. They do pass, but gone, but not forgotten. Yes.
Yes, well, you've been surrounded by Aquarians, humanitarians.
Yes, yes.
Okay, people, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yes, my dear.
yeah.
Yes. Well, thanks.
Yes, so, yeah, for this thing, I really do not know what to say what's going on in this country here, I really do not know what to say, because so many things going on, some you know and some you ain't know. But I want the nation to know, as you say, what gone by the morning can't come with the evening. A lot of things is going to happen to them. And when things start to happen to them, they're going to run up and down. And some going to obey a man and what's not. But they ain't going to realize is what they do to this nation here in this country a backfire on top of them. You see, don't start? You see, don't start?
Yep.
Look out. More is there to come. You don't rock your stomach. And I'm made to understand that Pepper Seed, Dr. Pepper Seed went to England and sent back a video, a Facebook tape and say he was talking to the third king up there. I want to know why did he went to tell him? He went up there to tell him that they take 33% from the people in Sinkit and ain't gonna go do no work as yet and rob us from our pension, take back 5 and I get 250. Is that he went up there to tell him? I hope is that. Nobody want no picture on no Facebook. We want to hear definitely why they went up there to say. That's what we want. We want equal rights and justice in this place here. Not for some and not for not some. But you have a pleasant good evening.
Have a pleasant evening as well. Always good to hear you. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you live. Hello, caller.
Thank you, Patches.
Thank you for holding, brother. Thank you for holding.
Hi to all the listeners. Let me chime in on common sense. I didn't went to a law school. I didn't went to Harvard, Yale, or Oxford. But I apply common sense to logic. And let me go straight, working backward from the DPP, back to the AG, to the Prime Minister. Now, first of all, backtrack all the arrogance, the rhetoric that was spoken. Backtrack all the promises that was made to the people. And what has been fulfilled? Now, the government has turned so radical, resistance, revolt against the people. What is the DPP is doing? There are so many unsolved mystery cases in St. Kitts and Nevis. And what is the outcome? What are the results? Now, if the Attorney General are going to say they are going to take your phone because you spread false information. Yes, false information is not acceptable. So I will caution anyone who might have curiosity or speculation towards any incident. Use the word allege. You are protecting yourself, because to defamate someone is not a good thing. And there's consequences for defamation. So if anyone can more keenly define what I'm saying, I will be obliged. Moving forward, for what the DPP was probably partially succeeding, what accomplishment was made with the incident with the weapon and speculation. Now, why couldn't, if they could flex their muscles and this lady who being accused, okay, what was the process? They are not going to protocol. protocol has been up and down all over the place. What it is, DPP. What it is, AG. AG, do not force, do not try to put the cart in front of the horse. Leave it behind. That's how it's supposed to be. Now, what? Let me come after that now, because that's an advice. Let me tell you, you all should be more catering to the needs of the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Fulfill your promise, but I doubt if that's going to happen because it's too late. Because promises are comfort for fools. You all have not done what you all should have, and you are being held accountable for that. Okay? Give the people what you promise. But like I said, it's too late. Because the weakest of a party right now is the Labour Party. Okay? They are not fulfilled. They have not fulfilled. They are trying what was said to be on its way. Where it is I am asking the question, is it a collision in the air? Santa Claus delivered. Santa Claus delivered, but you are not delivered. So Santa Claus is better than you all. I will trust Santa Claus more than you all frog and knock a bull. But let me tell you guys something. Leave the people alone and be careful in the threat, the rhetoric to the people, because the people has the power than those who are sitting in behind a desk. Okay, you all are not performing, you all are not doing the work. Poor performance. And for that reason, I condemn you all. And I will say, may God blast you all to hell, because you all are not doing right. Thank you for that time. Bye for now.
Thank you for your contribution. Always welcome contributions like yours and others. The DPP is blowing hot and cold at the same time. His press release and his forceful utterances sounded as if he is on a campaign to ensure that the Crown Counsel is found guilty after elaborating on the charges. That sounds very biased and prejudicial to me, because potential jurors like me outside listening may be convinced that the woman is guilty even before I sit on the case and listen the evidence presented. Or maybe the intention is to have one of their selected single judge trials. Reads this email. Very interesting perspective. Weatherman boy, they say when your own lies bite you is worse than any other. I hope you're not saying like King Rockefeller, I don't care what they do me, I am still a Labour. Reads this other email. What's going on in St. Kitts, Nevis? Mr. Liburd, the Federation is upside down. True. What's going on in St. Kitts, Nevis, Mr. Liburd? The country seems to be running upside down with a rookie, inexperienced leader. I must commend Dr. Harris for that excellent post he made on freedom of speech, reads this email, and the underhand attempt by some government officials to instill fear-mongering in our people with the empty, threatening rhetoric. Let all be reminded, my straight dog family, that St. Kitts and Nevis belong to you, that St. Kitts and Nevis belong to all born Kittitians and divisions, and no one who had to bang water to reach and reside here will ever be allowed to silence us. While they are allowed to shout to the top of their voices, castigating St. Kitts and Nevis people, I think that they are forward, rude, and out of their place. Reads this other email. Good night, Mr. Liburd. What has become of these two notable persons and the very remarkable contributors to the Straight Talk? I haven't heard their voices for a long time. They are the gentleman from Montserrat and the voice of the voiceless, Mr. Africa. I hope and trust that they are okay. Reads this email. Yes, I haven't heard the gentleman from Munster. That's a good question, but I saw Africa sometime recently. And this email reads, be with me for a moment, callers. This email reads, greetings, great one. The lawyer and ambassador in Philadelphia should use the money on his brother in Miami and some poor family in Fishtown that he lets the world know he is from. But that is for another day. Patches, growing up, we used to hear shoemakers wear the worst shoes. As I speak to you, do you know there is some 8 to 10 high-ranking police officers who do not have vehicles and using government vehicles and claiming travel allowance at $500 a month? Maths is your best or worst subject. $500 by 10 equals 5,000. By 12 equals 60,000 a year. Patches Sutton came on the television and said crime is down. He's a liar. The treasury is being robbed every month. Patches, as to the ladies, they have to drop those charges. She was following the advice given to the nation by a U.S. Marine, the Prime Minister's former son-in-law, one Dr. Boosie Rollins, who told the nation, if you know someone who killed someone, get them a ticket and get them off the island. The young lady did so, and now they move the goalposts. Keep it going, Patches. They're listening to you, your program, Monday and Thursday without fail. God bless you. Reads this email. Good night, Patches. Your thesis this evening, so appropriately titled, "We're gone by the morning, can't come good at night," is so fitting to the state of affairs in this country under Dr. July. As a senior serving police officer in the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, the DPP vociferously opposed the police to announce the arrest of his Crown Counsel, prosecutor, but he was forced to do the release himself because St. Kitts Nevis Times gave the public a hint of the arrest. So he jumped quickly and made his press release, which he shouldn't have done because he is one of the main witnesses for the prosecution's case. Kudos to St. Kitts Nevis Times for doing their job in informing the public of this. Why is the DPP now blaming us police for leaks and even venture to threaten us with prosecution when the real leakers are in his and the AG's office? If it was a member of PAM, PLP, the security forces, or any civilian, including you, Patches, OB, or the BBB, or Big Lies charge, the DPP would have been over the moon to allow the police to announce the arrest speedily. I now ask the DPP, when will he allow charges to be laid against Lionel Boosie Rollins, the National Security Advisor, for publicly telling murderers to buy a ticket and leave the country to evade prosecution? Because this fugitive was only following the directive given by Boosie. The real reason for the DPP doing the release wasn't truly to inform the public of the arrest, but was directed by the AG to attempt to beat the public into silence with his veiled threats. Is this what independence of office means, DPP? When you are always directed by Garth Lucifer Wilkin? Now the DPP himself in the press release gave out way too much information to the public, as if he was making the opening statement to the jury at the trial, which now definitely jeopardizes the case even further, as no one commenting on social media can jeopardize the case as they are not privy to the case file. I wonder if the DPP forgot that the slew of high-profile lawyers who will represent the arrested lawyer will first and foremost get full disclosure of all evidence to enable her to prepare her defense of the charges laid. The defense lawyers will use the DPP's very own press release against him, as he is the one who puts the entire evidence into the public domain. The DPP, as a potential witness, shouldn't be making public statements on this case, as the defense will have a field day in court when he is cross-examined. Cases in court are lost mainly by the procedure, irrespective of how compelling the evidence is. What the DPP did is identical to a pretty lady walking naked on 4th Street at midday. Then when people looks at her, she asks what they are watching her for. The DPP stripped himself bare, then asked social media not to comment. If the DPP had allowed the police to issue their press release, it was already prepared in the following manner. The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, after a thorough investigation, has on the 23rd January 2025 laid 6 charges against a member of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution in the person of 29 years old Chandris Dorset, a Crown Counsel, prosecutor of Bladen Housing Development, Bastille. The charges laid against Chandris Dorset are as follows. 1 count of accessory after the fact to the murder of Akeem Archibald, which took place on the 20th July 2024 at Conwy Village. 3 counts of attempting to pervert the course of justice. 1 count of misconduct in public office, and 1 count of corruption. Offences were committed between the 20th July 2024 and the 30th of October 2024. The Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force wishes to assure all that the police remains committed to enforcing the law fairly and firmly, without fear or favor, and to ensure that justice will be preserved all times. We wish to remind all that every person arrested and charged is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. We will continue to give further updates as this case progresses. Thank you. Thank you, Patches reads this email. It's now 9:36. We go back to the lines and thank this caller for holding. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Liburd, man. How you doing tonight, man?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, great show so far, man.
Thank you.
You had a nice run of some emails there. And, you know, my colleague up there in New York, man, great comments tonight, and the rest callers. But Patches, man, you know what I listened to that DPP speech or presentation or press relief or press brief, whatever that was. And, you know, where has this guy been all of this time that this guy was hired? You know, when I listen to that speech, it sounds like the AG speech that the AG had, rambling in the parliament about, you know, coming for your phones and all of those threats. Due process must be allowed, man. Right now, you know, I've been talking about this corruption, but this big fish that they claim that they caught in the corruption net, you know, I don't know why they didn't caught more fishes. Where is this leader, man? One person being charged, everybody is innocent until proven guilty. This woman might get exonerated, you know, because the DPP and whoever else is in this control of this judicial system in St. Kitts and Nevis, I can't see that, man. They're not performing to the money that they're raking out the treasury every month. So this DPP now finally acting like as if he's doing some work, where he's been all these months now. But I can't believe the St. Kitts and Nevis people is just sitting there and watching all of these developments happen in the Federation. The place is in a mess. Somebody got to clean up this mess. Somebody got to rise up out the ashes and break through and change the status quo. You see what's going on in the big, bad United States with that orange man? He is doing what he says he's going to do. And we are watching around the world. And from this, it's supposed to trickle down to other countries. The countries where all that corruption and all that status quo remain must be changed. And St. Kitts and Nevis is one of those places. The status quo can't remain. The system got to be broken so that the people can be let go from them shackles they are in. The politicians are running away with the place with this reckless spending. That money what the man is spending is not theirs, it's the people's money. And the people got to understand they got the real power in their hands. And until I get that Brian Claus change, man, I'm going to be on here talking like a Yankee. Man, I'm bro. What's up, bro? What's up, man? It's time for certain segment of the citizenship persons who got citizenship for St. Kitts and Nevis to stop being discriminated against. The Constitution allows us to come home to vote, but it doesn't allow those who have a foreign passport to come home and put their names on the ballots. And I want to see that change. I don't care what nobody says. The agenda that other persons might have, which is going contrary to what I'm saying, they have the right to that as well. And I'm asking them, if that's what you want to see happen, you push that agenda as well. And let each one teach one and let us come together and unite for the changes we want. And until I could get those bald-head politicians to go up in that parliament and table that Brian clause and that dual citizenship clause and take a look at those clauses again, I'm going to be on here talking up for us in the diaspora. And for those who want to know, FYI, I have made contributions in Cotton Ground Nevis, and I pay taxes there. So I got the right to talk the way how I talk. And my American accent, who don't like it, leave it alone. I have earned the right to talk like this based on the number of years I spent in this country and hanging out with those American peers that I have. At least I'm not an overnight fly-by Yankee. I've left Nevis in 1985. Add up those years and tell me how much years that is. I've actually spent more years out of Nevis and St. Kitts than I spent there in my own hometown. But once I get connected to this political stuff and I see what's going on, I am one of the advocates for progress, and real change. And it hasn't happened since I left Nevis in 1985. We are still talking about electricity, water shortages, roads in shambles. The new phenomenon is mold in all of these buildings. So is enough mold in all of those buildings in St. Kitts and Nevis to put the whole population to work, even a 2-month-old baby. But change must come, and the status quo must change. And I wish the people of St. Kitts and Nevis the best. But you guys need a bucket of cold water over all of your faces to wake you all up. The place is in a mess. Dr. Chu, the Prime Minister, recently I heard he went up to England. He made a visit to their King Charles, and he's talking about sustainable island state. But I hope he made a presentation for reparations, and I hope he made a presentation for the said republic status that he promised he was going to take the federation to. That's my contribution tonight, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Very sound contribution, my dear brother. And I was between two minds, strange but true, whether to do my thesis tonight on that visit to the king by our confused prime minister. As remember, he spoke about, yes, the republic, becoming a republic, and demanded an apology from the king. But obviously he has changed his mind somewhat. But change is unavoidable, so we can excuse him if that is the case, my straight dog family. It's 16 before the 10 o'clock hour. Good night, Patches reads this email. On the 2nd October 2018, Jamal Khashoggi, a US-based journalist and critic of Saudi Arabia's government, was lured into the Saudi consulate in Istanbul, Turkey, where he was murdered. Fast forward to the evening of December 19, 2024, close to midnight, Dr. Simonette Williams was fatally struck by a vehicle in her hometown of Monkey Hill, just days after, in a stinging Facebook post, she criticized Dr. July's government and a foreign government. Patches, foreign diplomats have immunity in any country where they are based. Their diplomats cannot be ticketed by the police, and if they commit a crime, the police cannot just up and arrest them. You are aware as well, Patches is a past senior diplomat of St. Kitts and Nevis, who held the highest diplomatic office at the UN, that the foreign country's embassy or mission are considered part and parcel of that country's territory. That being said, Patches, the police cannot enter into an embassy or mission unless authorization is first given by the foreign ministry of that country, as this act can lead to serious diplomatic implications, including war. It is the same that no diplomat can be identified or charged by the police unless, after a request by the Minister of Foreign Affairs to that country's Minister of Foreign Affairs, outlining the crime that that diplomat has committed, then unless that country lifts the cloak of diplomatic immunity, then an arrest can be effected with this email. Let's go back to the lines at 9:46. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
Good evening, my lord. And how art thou tonight?
I'm not bad at all. Very interesting program. But can I just pull you off topic for a short while? Mm-hmm. Do I have your permission to pull you off topic?
You have straight talk is yours. You are straight talk.
Okay, thank you. Reflect a bit. Some years ago, there's a woman named Diane who was married to a prince named Charles. She became Princess Diane. They had some children, I think, yes. And after some years, they separated, had a divorce. Shortly after divorce, she became friendly with a Pakistani man by the name of Jody Fayyad, I think his name was. And she lined around the place with him. And one night in France, she ended up in a traffic accident. And she died. At least so we were told that she was in a traffic accident. After that, we never heard anything about any prosecutions against her driver or against any other driver who might have hit the vehicle that she was in to cause her death. Everything just went silent. I suppose it is to protect the good name of the royal family, because it was embarrassing for them, I suppose. We have a situation here. There was a similar incident where a certain doctor got knocked down, it is said, and everything has gone silent. No word has been said about who did what caused it, anything of the sort.
One word.
I am not aware of any kind of royal family in St. Kitts that needs protection or anything of the sort. So, what exactly is the reason for all of this? Is there somebody being protected? Was she offending someone? And as a result, she had to be silenced? God alone knows. But I hope that is not the case. Good night, Patches.
Good night, my very...
I am a doctor. I got a scholarship by the government to become a doctor in Cuba. First of all, I do not recommend that not even a dog goes to Cuba. For the poverty, the starvation, even black magic in Cuba, a lot of black magic too. The things that goes on in that country, I wouldn't want a kitchen dog to go to that place. And I am still in awe that they're still sending people there. I would tell anybody, take the $200,000 loan and go to Jamaica.
Interesting comment by that last caller prompted me to play that soundbite. But getting back to our emails, this is an open letter to Dr. Terence Drew, dated January 23, 2025, under the caption, Qualification for the $250 Budget Boost Wallet. Dear Prime Minister, I write as a concerned citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I write specifically on behalf of those of us enrolled in the Elevate program created by your government. It has come to our attention that various initiatives such as the CBI dividends and now the recent $250 Budget Boost Wallet BBW have been introduced to support our communities. However, many of us, beg your pardon, in the Elevate program feel overlooked and left out of these beneficial opportunities because they require that those applying for the benefit must be enrolled in the Social Security program, and most of us are not registered with Social Security. We understand that the government has made commitments to support citizens in various ways, yet the inability to make Social Security payments for those of us in the Elevate program excludes us from this program. Mr. Prime Minister, you will recall that we in the Elevate program were invited by the government to a meeting at Warner Park on Wednesday, 15 March 2023, to discuss the program, and where we were promised that our contributions from Elevate would allow us to be registered in Social Security. Your government has not yet enrolled us in the Social Security, and the failure to do so has now created a significant barrier. The promise of Social Security was a beacon of hope for many, and the inability to fulfill this commitment has left us marginalized. It is disheartening to witness the rollout of initiatives designed to uplift our communities, while a number of us are being neglected. We believe that every citizen, regardless of their circumstances, deserves equal access to support and resources. It is imperative that our leaders recognize the hard work and contributions of all citizens, including those of us associated with the Elevate program. Dr. Drew, I urge you to consider the impact of these initiatives on our community and to advocate for solutions that includes everyone, particularly those of us who are striving to elevate our circumstances. We are not asking for handouts, but rather for the opportunity to participate fully in the programs designed to support the growth and well-being of every citizen and resident of this Twin Island Federation. We as members of the Elevate program are committed to improving our lives and contributing positively to our society. However, we need the same support that the government is giving to other citizens. We hope that you will take our concerns seriously and work towards a resolution that ensures all citizens have access to the assistance they deserve. Thank you for your attention to this matter. We look forward to your response and to seeing positive changes that will benefit all citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Sincerely, a concerned citizen, a member of the Elevate program, reads this communication. Dear Patches, the stench of corruption and the decay of justice in our nation have reached an unbearable point. The Nanigate scandal has exposed Attorney General Garth Wilkin for what he truly is, a man who behaves as though he is above the law. How would Wilkin, the chief custodian of our legal system, shamelessly refuse to pay Social Security contributions for the nanny he employed at his home? Does he know that failing to do so is a criminal act? The High Court judge certainly thought so, chastising him in no uncertain terms. Was this not a blatant disregard for the law? A slap in the face to every hard-working citizen who dutifully pays their contributions. And what about Adlai Henry, the Director of Prosecutions, I think that should be Smith, Adlai Smith, the Director of Public Prosecutions. Where is his voice in all of this? Why has he not demanded accountability from Wilkin? Why hasn't he called for Wilkin's resignation, or better yet, his dismissal? Is Adler too afraid to prosecute the powerful, or does he simply choose to look the other way when his friends are implicated? His silence is just puzzling. It's complicit. How can the DPP justly turn a blind eye to criminal behavior while claiming to serve the interests of justice? The air reeks of double standards and impunity. Are we to believe that the law applies only to the powerless, while the powerful are free to break it without consequence? The people deserve answers. Patches, when will Adlai stop protecting the elite and start doing his job? Reads this email. Good night, Patches. What is really going on in the Ministry of Tourism? Why Marsha has her so-called personal assistant doing people as she like? She locking up the book from the cleaners so they cannot sign at daytime. She cursing the cleaners left, right, and center. She's treating them like dog patches, and Marsha sitting by and allowing this to happen. Tourism is in a mess. Like Little Bo Peep sits by the plastic toilets and inhales all the scent every day to intimidate the cleaners, and up to now they can't fix the bathrooms. Shame on you, Marsha. Oh, and Patches pleased to ask Marsha who stole the box of ham from the ministry's office in December, because so much corruption is down there right now. Reads this other email. Wow, the emails just keep coming. I thought I was going to finish them by now. Dear Patches, why is justice swift for some but non-existent for others? DPP Adlai Smith wasted no time going after Miss Dorset, accusing her without evidence of leaking information to a wanted person. Yet when Attorney General Garth Wilkins was caught red-handed leaking confidential CBI details to the political commentator Dwyer Astafan, Adlai remained silent. Not a word, not a single move to hold him accountable. Instead, Wilkins is rewarded with continued impunity. Yes, the country's top legal person, Garth Wilkins, leaked WhatsApp messages expose a scandal of massive proportions. He disclosed that Galaxy fraudulently processed 15,000 applications, pocketing $60 million by underselling units for as low as $12,000, far below market value. He admitted those shady practices began long before the prison project, implicating figures like Lescan for turning a blind eye. Wilkins even revealed that Galaxy funneled millions of dollars to political operatives, calling the entire scheme a good scam. This isn't speculation, it's fact, supported by Wilkins' own words. Yet Adlai Smith, who rushed to vilify Dorset, refused to act against the AG. Why? Is justice only for the powerless? Does Adlai's silence prove he's complicit in protecting the elite? Patches, the nation deserves answers. This double standard reeks of corruption, cowardice, and betrayal. If Adlai Smith won't defend the law, he has no place as DPP. Justice must be equal, or is it nothing at all? Reads this other email. Dear Patches, the delay in suspending Commissioner Franklin Dorset raises significant questions, particularly about the kind of preferential treatment his family may have received under the watch of the current administration. For 4 days, he remained in charge of the very institution, and during this time, whispers about the exceptional conditions she was afforded circulated widely. Was this treatment part of an unspoken arrangement with the corridors of power? The timing of the suspension, coming only after public outcry, suggests that the government may have underestimated the extent to which the public was watching, and more importantly, the level of outrage that would ensue. What seems clear is that the Jew administration was hesitant to act, like hoping that the situation could be handled quietly behind closed doors. It's hard not to wonder whether the special treatment was the reason for the delay. Perhaps the administration was reluctant to disrupt the status quo, until because it became impossible to ignore. What really drove the governments to act? The public's demand for fairness or something more? Reads this other email. And you may have just joined me, my Straight Talk family. It's just 1 minute before the 10 o'clock hour, as my time is certainly running out. I started a bit tardy, so I'll give you back a few minutes. The minutes I owe you, I should say. But for those who may have joined me late, we looked at our thesis tonight, which is titled, "We're Gone by the Morning, Can't Come Good at Night." And we looked at the Attorney General, Garth Lucifer Wilkin, who is the Chief Legal Advisor of the July administration. Can you imagine that, my Straight Talk family? And he said that. He said it with a measure of pride as well, my Straight Talk family. The Attorney General did say this about his role within the July administration. He also told us as well that he administers the AG's or the DPP's office. And he said this.
The Attorney General,
Okay, forgive me for that, my Straight Talk family. We seem to have had a little difficulty with that particular soundbite. Why, I don't know. But here's what. We will try to get it up and running before we do move on. But the Chief Legal Advisor, my Straight Talk family, is supposed to be someone who sets an example of integrity and upholds the law, guiding others to act in accordance with the law. But when the chief legal advisor breaks the law himself, it must be a serious conflict of interest, and it undermines trust in the system as a whole. And he even, my Straight Talk family, administers the office of the DPP. And he told us this as well, my Straight Talk family. He said this, rather. Okay, we seem to be having some difficulties there, my Straight Talk family, with my sound bites. What's gone wrong? But yes, my Straight Talk family, as we wind down tonight's programming, and what seems to be a very strange arrangement within the office of the AG seems like a bit of a contradiction at first glance, but really it has to do with the separation of powers. But let me get back to my emails and dispense of them as they keep coming in. Today, the young and vibrant Dr. Simonette Williams was laid to rest, leaving behind a grieving mother whose pain was palpable and unbearable. Yet amidst the sorrow, the glaring question remains, why over a month after her tragic death has no one been charged? The police reportedly have the driver of the alleged vehicle in custody, but no charge have been laid. Is this because the evidence against him is weak, or because he is merely a scapegoat? Rumors have swirled that the truth behind Dr. Williams' death will be far more sinister than it appears. Could it be that the real culprits, having carried out the chilling task, are watching from the shadows while an innocent man takes the fall? Was the vehicle merely a decoy to shift focus away from the actual perpetrators who dumped her lifeless body on the road? The lack of charges and the silence surrounding this case leave the public uneasy. What are the police hiding, and who are they protecting? Justice demands that we look beyond the surface. The truth, as unsettling as it may be, must prevail, not just for Simonet, but for her grieving family and the country at large, reads this email. Good evening, Mr. Liburd. I have a friend, and every day she cries to go to work under this Labour administration. Patches, she is being victimized to the highest degree. Every day she goes to work and does nothing, as the roles and duties were taken from her by the permanent secretary. Patches, I would like to say to my friend, I love you. Remember to stay positive. God is not done with you. He is just getting started. Be patient, be patient. I know you have been waiting for a miracle. I know you have been fighting some obstacles. Don't worry, my friend. Every ending has a new beginning. God is never late. God is not done with you. Stay strong, my friend. Patches, I'm crying just to write this, as my head hurts to see how my friend is being victimized. Mr. Liburd, the administration appears to have an attitude of we know best, so we don't have to tell the public anything, we just do. Anyway, we have some questions and would like to know if you can help us to get answers. The water buckets distributed, how many were connected? Of the recent rains, were the buckets in a position to catch and store any of the rain? Of the $50 million desal plant, who or how many people will benefit from the water from it, and how? Will the desal water cause the price of water to go up? Is this other email? As we look at that sometime. Mr. Patches, as I'm wondering how come the guy who was in the wrong got charged, but the other driver who was responsible for the passengers allowed the child to be to the front of the vehicle was never charged. I know a baby place should be buckled up in a car, seat to the back. If it's true, this is real biasness and injustice. Good night, Mr. Liburd. How you say Alexa is not working? That's what I'm listening to on all the way in Pakistan. I am sorry, I was not certain if it was working. I'm happy that it's up and running, and I was making certain that it was. So I'm happy that it's good and trust that all is well in Pakistan. Some folks come on your program and strongly advocate that citizens with dual nationality should be allowed to run for public office. Patches, that is dangerous to do. When such persons get into office and they mess up the country, all these folks have to do is pack up their bags and go to the other country where they have citizenship, and leaving the population to suffer with their bad decisions. The other issue is persons living abroad coming home to vote. Patches, as in the last elections, the elections were determined by the overseas voters. But we who remain here have to live under the conditions of the ill-fated government. How can that be fair? People want to compare what takes place in the USA, but the persons who live outside the USA are so insignificant that it cannot swing the results of the election. Let common sense prevail, reads this other email. And this, I thought it would be my final email. This is my penultimate one. Patches, who upset the Nevis Yankees somehow, has definitely ruffled his feathers. But he don't have to study them. He has earned the right to talk the way he talk. Ignore them, bro, reads this email. And my final email for the night. Good evening, Mr. Liburd. I have a friend, every day she cries. I thought I did read that before, so that person sent that email back. And those are my emails for the night. And as we wind down tonight's program in my Straight Talk family, I wish to state that We have a situation in St. Kitts, and I'll end just as I began, in that when I wake in the morning, and I implore you to do the same, thank God for the morning light. Thank God for taking you safely through the night. Thank God for rest, for food, and for loving care, and all that makes the world so fair. But ask the question, is this world really fair? Because when we look around us, we see things like inequality, suffering, and injustice. I'll take this and make this my final call for the night. Caller, I'm going to guide you by the rules of brevity. Can you use 30 seconds?
Very well, sir. I accept that. Patrice, this is the voice that a lot of people know. It's Winston Manners, Winston Welcome. I'm the liaison between St. Kitts and Nevis. Manners in Nevis, Welcome in St. Kitts. And I earned that title. But I'm issuing an utterance order from the top down to the bottom. And listen to this. Prime Minister Joe, you are fired. Congress, Maynard, you are fired. Jeffrey Handley, you are fired. Marsha Henderson, you are fired. Samuel Duggins, you are fired. And I'm not going to go through the rest of the list. To whom it may concern, you all are fired because you are not doing well. You all are not keeping the promise. You all are very short fuse, thin skin, and I'm going to push this under your all skin. Be aware. If you're not going to take this opportunity to accept that, we have the power, the people. So, dress warm. Bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for understanding. Thank you, my Straight Dog family. Thank you kindly. And as we wrap tonight's programming, my Straight Dog family, it is frustrating to see people get away with doing wrong, while others who try to do the right thing face struggles and are setbacks. It makes one feel, my Straight Dog family, that there is no real balance or justice, especially when the consequences don't seem to match the actions. If everyone tried to do the right thing, it would definitely make a huge difference here in St. Kitts. And what I'm promoting is a concept of collective responsibility, where if more people acted with integrity, the world, yes, but more specifically St. Kitts and Nevis, would be a much better place in which to live and work. But hell no. Here in my beloved country of St. Kitts Nevis, people get rewarded for their wrongdoings, especially if they are supporters of the political party in office. And this is what makes it harder to stay hopeful. My Straight Dog family, we made mention of the DPP and what went wrong in the morning, what gone bad a morning, as we say, can't come good at night. We made mention of a man caught red-handed with a high-powered gun and was summarily released by the office of the DPP that filed a notice of discontinuance in the magistrate's court. And yes, he asked, was this a case of collusion with the Commissioner of Police and the DPP office? How could this happen? We ask ourselves. In the case in Nevis, were any firearms surrendered under amnesty, battered? It is reliably rumored by a snake-like politician. Whatever it is, the public may never find the truth. But like the adage goes, what gone bad a morning can come good a night. And it serves as a poignant metaphor that highlights the challenges constantly faced by the July administration. And when we reflect on the 3 years in office, nigh 3 years in office, the early signs of governance are fraught with inefficiency, dishonesty, and a lack of transparency, my Straight Dog family. As we wind down tonight's program in my Straight Dog family, we reflected on the strange arrangement within the office of the Attorney General. It seems like a bit of contradiction at the first glance, but we outlined what had to do with the separation of powers and the specific constitutional provisions that ensure independence for the Director of Public Prosecutions. But my Straight Dog family, when we look at what's happening in St. Kitts, and when we look at the confusing approach, advances by the disgraced Attorney General, when we listen to the Attorney General, we ask, can he instruct the Attorney General? It seems as if this is what he suggests he can, when he said that he will prosecute people.
I know they have Kittitians and divisions living in the states who believe because the states allow you to say anything they want, they could say anything they want. Stay up there. Come out of our internet. Right? If you do that, we can send an MLAT to the US. We could find you. We could prosecute you. And we could get you extradited to St. Kitts to face charges.
But how can the chief legal advisor prosecute anyone? The prosecutorial authority lies in the DPP, my Straight Dog family, who himself, like the Attorney General, wants to stifle our freedom of expression. But what is very interesting, my Straight Dog family, is that DPP keeps referring to a fugitive. And as I said, the saying, what goes wrong in the morning can't come good in the night. Because when legal professionals fail to ethically or overlook transgressions, fail to act ethically or overlook transgressions, I should say, they undermine not only their office's credibility, but also the justice system as a whole. The DPP, as I said, spoke about a fugitive. But whoever this fugitive is, isn't this individual acting upon the advice of my good friend?
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
But people in high office must serve as a beacon of fairness, transparency, and professionalism. When wrongdoing is ignored, it not only emboldens further misconduct, but also discredits the capacity of our institutions to act impartially. It is essential for that reason that legal professionals uphold the highest standards at all times, ensuring that their actions, decisions, and oversight reflect their commitment to justice, integrity, and accountability, regardless of the challenges that are faced. This approach, my Straight Dog family, ensures that what begins right in the morning will indeed lead to positive and lasting outcomes in the night. But sadly, that is not the case under this corrupt July administration and its cabinet. And what gone by the morning can't come good tonight. That's my story tonight, my Straight Dog family, and I am not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. As always, I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you who call or send emails. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk, have yourselves, my Straight Talk family, a wonderful... What am I saying? It's Tuesday tomorrow. We'll connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk. I'm going ahead of myself. Forgive me for that. So have yourself, my Straight Talk family, the best of what's left for the rest of tonight. Remember that whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So when I wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. My Straight Dog family, bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
That I will achieve, because I do the things I should, between my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow.